All right, here we go. See if anybody shows up for the unannounced, as they usually do. Everybody may have given up on me. I don't blame them. Wait to see if a couple people come in the chat here. What is sunshine? Good morning, Mike. Good evening. Good evening. Hello, fillers. I'd say I'd ask you if you'd missed me last week, but I know you didn't. You're probably like, "Hey, we got a night out. We don't have to watch this guy." Oh, there's 4 of them. It's going all right. I'm a little broke, but well, I'm glad, Doc. So it's been kind of an expensive week, so to speak. I did. Her name is Ruby. I ended up buying a 2020 Chevrolet Equinox for the wife, and I'm not gonna lie. When I first told her about it, and I brought it home for the weekend last weekend, and I mean to tell you, she was madder than an old wet hen. And yes, Doc, it is a 2-liter turbo with a 9-speed automatic, and it is all-wheel drive, and it is a Premier, which is with a 2LZ package, which basically means this thing has got every bell and whistle on it you could get. Yeah, yeah, it's pretty sharp. But like I said, she was pretty mad when I brought it home. But after we discussed it a little bit on the Friday, I was like, I didn't sign any papers on it. Just brought it home to see if you'd like it. And I think she was mad because, well, I know she was mad because she didn't get to pick it out. But in the same instance, I wanted to keep it Chevrolet because I've already got diagnostic equipment for it. I'm familiar with it. I can get things done if something has to happen. So yeah. But she goes after we get done with the argument part. She goes, "So how long do I have it?" I says, "Well, for the weekend." She goes, "I'm gonna drive the freaking tires off of this thing." And so I went to work Saturday. It was my weekend to work, so I had to work last Saturday, and I get a call from her. "Hey, Danny." Get a call from her, and she goes, "I'm not gonna lie, these seats are really comfy." And of course, it's got leather in it, and they're heated and cooled seats. And get this, the rear seats are even heated. I've never had a vehicle that's had rear heated seats in it. I mean, it's almost as nice as a Cadillac without the Cadillac badge. But anyway, as time goes on, it was kind of funny. We signed papers on it Monday, and as we're sitting there in the salesman office, I bought it from work. And as we're sitting there in the salesman office, she goes, I already got a name for her. It says, let me guess, Ruby. She goes, yeah, how'd you guess? I says, well, it is kind of maroon and red, ruby red in color. So, I mean, it only makes sense. Doc, I paid $28,800 for this thing. It's got 32,000 miles on it. I didn't think that was too bad, but I'm going to tell you, used car prices are pretty stupid. Hey, Steven. Used car prices are pretty stupid. But I went with the 2020 because after 2021, you could not get the 2-liter anymore. It was the only engine you got in that vehicle was a 1.5, and as many as the 1.5s as I've seen with issues from years previous, and still got issues with them. Then I decided that's not what I wanted. So 2021 was the last year for the 2-liter in an Equinox, and it's got the 9-speed in it, which is the 9T65. And I'd only drove that one time home, and she had it the whole rest of the weekend. So I actually got to drive it again this weekend, and took it up there to do a few things. They had to replace a tire on it because they missed it on the certified inspection. I did buy a new vehicle, Steven. I bought a 2020 Chevrolet Equinox. It is all-wheel drive. Well, they did to a point, but when they came back with the LTG engine, which they were using those in the Cadillacs back in 2012, and it is maroon. They call it Cajun red tint coat, Stephen. Like I said, my wife has named it Ruby, and but anyway, I had to put a tire on it, and I wanted to get the transmission fluid changed, so I did that today. And what else did I do? I did an OnStar module update, a radio update. I went ahead and did a road force balance on all the tires because I had one that was a little heavy. So I had to dismount that one and rotate it on the wheel to match where it needed to go and rebalance it. What else did I do? Well, I tested the battery to make sure it was still good and put a cabin filter in it. Just some little odds and ends that I wanted to start with, so I knew that I wouldn't have to jack with it for a while. So the only thing I didn't get done is I wanted to check the alignment on it, and didn't, and we'll have to do that another time. But then one of the guys at work, when the weather cleans up as far as rain wise, I'm going to have it polished, and we're going to ceramic coat it to help protect it from the elements down here until I can get the garage cleaned out and she can get it in there. So, but yeah, this thing has got, like I said, every bells and whistle on it you could ask for. It's got navigation on it. It's got the Bose audio system in it, which it sounds flipping awesome. Kenny Rogers Ruby, right? But she really likes it, I think. She was texting me all day. Is you done with it yet? Ruby okay? I said, yeah, it's fine. But yeah, after driving it today, the thing just, that engine and transmission combination, yes, Stephen, I did get it from work. It's just a fantastic drivetrain. I mean, it drives so nice. And the thing really gets good fuel economy. I think the average on it is what the little deal says. I mean, she's been averaging like 31 miles a gallon out of it. Yeah, Doc, that's a big difference in years. Hey, I'm going to tell you guys, even, I think it would have been the same, but even as an employee, the guys up there at work, did a nice job of taking care of us. I mean, I was pretty happy with it. I tell you one thing that's not very impressive, and I'm going to warn you, and I guess that's the way everywhere. Interest rates on used cars are stupid. And they came back to me with an interest rate of almost 11%. I was like, no, guys, you're going to have to do better than that. I says, it's got to be 9 or under. I wouldn't buy a used car with that much interest on it. And I think I get 8 something, but yeah, well, they're talking about the houses more than anything, but it is, the interest rate's terrible. And so I went to Walmart today. I hate going to Walmart. We just needed a few things, and I think I came home with 2 boxes of cat litter, big ass bag of rice, some frozen fruit, milk, and a few personables, and ended up spending like $263. I'm like, are you kidding me? Yeah. Yeah, I know that's what I said, Mike, but I'm used to the store, and I can get in there and find what I need to do and get out. And I tell you what, it's going to come a time where we're going to have to find another way to shop, because I mean, it's just, I think Walmart's getting price happy now. I still think there's a lot of freaking gouging going on, and it's hurting the middle class guy. It really is. The low and middle class people are the ones that are getting killed by this stuff. It is out of control, Doc, for sure. But it's stupid. I wish it would change. I mean, I'm praying for change, but I don't know what me as a peon can actually do to help or anything like that. But I'm hoping something will change. Now I heard that they're talking about apprehending. I guess you wouldn't call it apprehending, but arresting the 45 for something. But I could see that being a real bad move. There you go. The barter system with farmers around me. Yeah, I mean, that's the way you need to do it. Yeah. I don't I can't believe that's even something that's come around, because that's wrong. And these poor kids are getting so confused on what they're taught, and to me, I guess I'm old school. What happens from a boy being a boy and a girl being a girl? What's the big deal with that? Just because you didn't get the kid you want doesn't mean you have the right to change their ideals of who they are. The Lord made a boy and the Lord made a girl. That's how it is. Yeah, yeah. One thing about it is if you get a pedo that's that gets incarcerated, they're not going to last long because the inside will take care of them. Oh crap! Anyway, I'm tired. I was up until something stupid like I kept falling asleep on the couch. And so I'd get up, and I think I finally went to bed. I think it was like a little after 3 o'clock this morning when I went to bed. So, needless to say, I turned my alarm off so it did go off. And I slept in until about probably, I think it was a little after 8:30 when I got up this morning. Took my shower and got moving, tried to go get a haircut today, but she goes, well, you knew your luck was going to run out trying to get in there. I said, yeah, I know. But anyhow, so I guess I must be doing something right because I uh, got more people coming to me wanting transmissions built, and I think that's pretty cool. Yeah, for sure. So I got a '02 Tahoe with a transmission out of it. I've got to do so. He's actually going to bring it up to work. He's actually one of the salesmen up there, and uh, he was told by multiple people in the shop to come see me. So I told him, I says, well, if I'm taking it out, you're going to have to bring it up to the shop because I ain't laying on the ground to take that dude out. I'm too old for that crap. And I don't know. I don't know if I'm the man, Doc. I mean, there's plenty of guys that are way better than I am. I'm, I like doing it. It's just something I do. I mean, I appreciate the compliment by any means, but yeah, there's still plenty of guys that are way better than I am. I just do the best I can and with what I can. Your '05 Bonneville Doc, depending on what engine's in it, but and if it's a 3800, then it'll have a 4T65 E in it. Best period correct trans for a 67 Impala, probably a Power Glide would be my guess. Um, yeah, Power Slide, but I don't know, 67 Impala. Let's see. I don't think they came out with 400 turbo until, well, I guess it was around 67, but more than likely it's got a Power Glide in it. Yeah, Power Slide, Turtle and Rabbit. Camera's got a little bit of a delay to it. It has nothing of that. Well, then you're pretty wide open as far as choices. Whatever you want to put in it, you could put a Turbo 400 in it, depending on what engine's in it, obviously. But 67 could have been a big block car, and it could have been a small block car. Small block probably would have been a 327. Yeah, you could do yeah, you could do a T56 6 speed, but I mean, if automatic wise, and you don't want to cut holes in floorboard and that kind of stuff for shifters, then you're pretty wide open. Of course, depends on what engine you're gonna put in it too. I mean, you could do like everybody else does and LS swap the world, then you can put just about any transmission in it you want, as long as you got a way to control it. Oh, goodness. So my other big thing for the weekend last week is I bought a new fridge. And so the old one's sitting right there. And you can't, well, the new ones, you can barely see it over there. But it's, you want to talk about something that's stupid expensive, and that's freaking appliances. An 07 Aura. 07 Aura would have been that would have been what's the Chevrolet equivalent? That would have been an Impala, I think. No. 07 Aura would have had a 3.6 in it. So it would have had a 6075 in it. But yeah, that was when they were first coming out with those things, and so they had issues. Whoops. For the birds. Yeah. I mean, not everybody's into the LS swap. Now, I've seen some pretty cool ones, though, that they make it look like the old small block. They paint it orange. They find a way to cover the coils, and they look like factory valve covers. It's pretty neat. I've seen a couple of them, and they just look slicker and snot. Way to hide everything, and yeah, it's pretty cool stuff. I mean, you can't beat the drivability of fuel injection, though. Yes, Doc, I'm 100% in agreement with you. Price of everything is going up. Yeah, the Aura was a neat car. I had a customer up there that had one of those, and we had to drop the drivetrain out of it to reseal it because the front cover was leaking so bad, and it was so much faster just to drop the whole drivetrain out. That was my latest venture too. I had a Cadillac ATS in here, 17, last week, and I had to drop the drivetrain out of it and put a torque converter in it because they tell you to do it in a car, but I'm going to tell you, if you've ever done one of those, you don't want to do it in a car, especially because of where the starter's mounted. Wow. That's freaking awesome. Thanks, Chaz. You didn't have to do that, but I sure appreciate it. That's fantastic. Thanks so much. That's pretty cool. Can you put a manual 5 or 6 speed behind a 3800 in a Bonneville? Trying to think if they ever did that, and I'm gonna say no, because I don't think they've got a bell housing that work with it. Now, if it was a 60-degree V6, like came out like 3400 V6, that twin four cam motor, they did that on a Grand Prix in '96. But anything after that, they pretty much eliminated putting 5 speeds behind those. Well, Chaz, thanks again for that. Again, you didn't have to do that. That's pretty awesome. Thanks for that. I really appreciate it. Or was because they're looking for mission parts for an LS7 used in this model. Yeah. Yeah, I did a when I first started getting back into transmissions, well, I guess into transmissions in the dealership, it was around 2002. 2009 would have been 2005. 2005, I was back in doing transmissions, and I did a 4T65 and a Chevrolet Impala, and I got the thing all together, got it back in the car, and I put it in drive, and everything was going good. And I was like, I put it back up in park, and all of a sudden, smoke started billowing out the freaking dipstick tube. The worst part about it is my boss was standing right there beside me. He goes, "Well, I'm thinking that one's going to have to come back out." And I says, "Yeah, I'm thinking you're right." And the only thing I did is I wasn't paying attention when I put the drum together in it, because it's got a drum that's got the forward clutch and the third clutch in the same housing, and I got the snap rings reversed, and they're 2 different thickness snap rings that go in there. And if you put the thick one at the bottom, then the clutch or the ring is kind of like the ring that they use on the 3/4 clutch on the 700 or 4L60, and it won't fit past that snap ring. So what had happened is, since I put the thick one down at the bottom, when it applied that clutch, it stuck, and it wouldn't release the clutch, and of course it smoked the clutch. It was a mess. But that was the last time I ever made that mistake, and I built a bunch of those dang things. But that was the first one that I did back in the dealership, and as they say, the rest is history. And man, I've done a ton of those things. It could be, but I'm going to tell you, those 4T65s and the 4T60s. The first years that they did the 4T60 and a lot of the Grand Ams. If you kept the fluid changed on those, man, them things would run forever. Well, the Bel Air mic was along the same lines. I mean, they were pretty similar to Impala. Well, Doc, I'm flattered, but I don't know that it would be cost effective for you to do that. Oh, you actually got the 4T65? When I was in school, Danny, we had 3 transmissions we went through. One was an AOD Ford. The other one was a uh, TH200 metric rear wheel drive, and we had to do a 125C, which was a 3-speed front wheel drive. And they used those 125Cs in everything from probably 1982 up till like 1991, 92, somewhere in there. They used that transmission for about 10 years. Solid front wheel drive transmission. Oh yeah, Doc, for sure. They were one of those critically important. You know what the problem they had with those too is the way they were designed is when the thing went into second gear, it also locked up the torque converter. Um, so if you did any kind of modifications to it, and you didn't change the programming of that particular instance, it would snap the input shaft on it, and then you'd be dead in the water. Yeah, Doc, they were real similar to the 700s. You got to get that cable right, because I mean that's how it controlled line pressure. I really need some different glasses. I just say that every time, but it just seems like I can't read with them, and I can't read without them. Yeah, I bet she was thrilled, Doc. 2617 Mitchell DIY was $20 for 2 years. Yeah, we had Danny. We bought our manuals. In fact, I still got most of them. We had a flood in our basement. I lost some of my books, but we used Mitchell books um, for school, and they had some good information on it. I'm not gonna lie, but I bought every one of them. What's up, Hudson? An AOD on my first car I built. I had a rod on it. Just jammed it down. Got all the pressure all the time. Lasted through 2 engines. Impressive. Uh, most of the time when you get them like that, the transmissions don't like full line pressure all the time, but um, it tends to wear things pretty quick. But if you got two engines out of it, that's pretty stinking good. Can't complain much about that. A garbage compressor, a bad motor. It swapped on an 8.5 Briggs & Stratus Snow King. Yeah, I bet. Got it built on a Wednesday. Well, Hudson, you said it lasted through two engines, but how long did those two engines last? I mean, that could go both ways. Engines could have died pretty quick too. Well, Danny, if your air compressor is doesn't fill up before breaking the circuit, I would say that either you've got a motor that's drawn too much current or the circuit itself is not big enough to handle the compressor, because it shouldn't do that. My air compressor runs on I do believe it's a 30 amp. It's either a 30 or 40. I'm thinking it's a 30 amp. Uh, oh, dual pole. Man, I was drawing a blank there because it's 220 compressor. They just got a big old freaking WEG motor on it, WEG. Um, that motor and compressors have been pretty good. It's an Ingersoll Rand pump. It's a Matco branded uh, air compressor, and it's done real well. Only thing I had to do is replace the starter uh, plate. It bolts right on the back side of the cover, and that's how the motor gets started. It burnt out when I had my shop. Yeah, the last Hudson, the last ticket I got was 106 and a 55, and that was after slowing down. I was racing some dude being an idiot. Uh, Lucky I didn't go to jail because he said he clocked me faster than that, but he was giving me a break, which I thought that was pretty cool. But yeah, that was one of them stupid things. But I've been plenty fast and a lot of cars, and just not as much as the fast anymore unless it's in a controlled environment because there's too many stupid people out there and I don't want to hurt somebody. Yeah, nitrous is hell on hybrid tactics for sure. Hybrid tactics are kind of like glass. They don't take a lot of abuse. Seriously, Mike, you got a ticket for a half a mile over. I called BS on that. If you did, that cop was just bored and didn't have anything better to do. Yeah, it's not even worth the paperwork, Mike. You know, that's just kind of dumb. Like I said, that cop must have just really been bored. You got to watch the cops down here too, because where I'm at, they like to play games and play hide and seek, and you just kind of got to watch your speed down here. I mean, but most of the time they won't touch you if you're under 10 mile an hour or under. If you get above that 10 mile an hour, you're really playing a game of chance. Uh, but for the most part, they won't bug you if you're 10 or more over the speed limit, or 10 mile an hour or under over the speed limit. So you got to be doing something pretty stupid, really, for them to pull you over and give you a rash of crap. So, speaking of which, what do you think of all these videos that have been popping up of people trying to play the audit my rights deal with the cops? You think that's BS, or you think actually people are stupid enough to do that kind of thing? I mean, are the cops really getting that bad, and the people are just fed up with it and they're pointing things out, or what's the scoop? I'm assuming, Doc, you mean they're getting that bad, but I I'm just I'm watching some of these, and some of them just seem like they're rigged, and they could be for views and that kind of stuff, but some of them seem absolutely legit. Um, it's crazy. Yeah, it's kind of funny you're talking about above the law. Um, you know that Steven Seagal is an actual uh, officer of the law now. Now I don't know if he's still policing down in Louisiana Parish, um, but yeah, he wasn't exactly above the law, but I think he's a captain at some police department now or something like that. I don't know. Yes, it was a good, great movie. I liked all of his movies. There's a lot of people that practice martial arts, and they say he's a fake, and um, he's. I don't think he's a fake. It's just a different type of martial arts that he practices. Shaq's just a big dude. No, we need common sense more than anything. The common sense thing has gone out the window, and that just because you got a badge and a gun doesn't mean you use the correct analogy. And there's a lot of cops that I think let that get to their head, and they make bad decisions, and that could cost somebody's life. I mean, it's nothing that it's it's just nothing to play around with. But then there's some of them that just say, well, it's all about respect. It's like, well, okay, but in the same instance, respect is not something that you deserve. It's something that you earn. You have to earn somebody's respect. You can't just show up and expect that it's going to happen that way. It just doesn't work. Yeah, Doc, respect is earned. Absolutely. Oh, Lordy. Yeah, especially since Shaq's hand's probably as big as Chris Rock's head. That could be detrimental for sure. That's what I'm saying, Doc. It's crazy. Anyway. Dribble. Yes, that Shaq is such a big dude. And that dude is smart too. Oh my goodness, he's smart. Uh, he's made some really good decisions as far as money's concerned. And he's taught his kids the same thing, and they're following his footsteps. But um, the guy knew what to do with his money. That's why he's ownership of a bunch of different companies. He owns part of the General, the car insurance. He owns part of Papa John's. A couple, yeah. Um, he's uh, he's got a bunch of companies. I'm sure that we don't know about, but just listen to him talk about it sometimes. Just he's smart and knows how to make a good business decision. Thanks for that, Doc. Anyway, man, I tell you what, my Arthur has just been knocking at my door lately. My hands get to hurting so bad. Yeah, we can do that, Doc, for sure. One of my one of the people that I used to go to church with up north. Mom was telling me today. I was talking to her. She had two sons, and she lost one of her sons. For the life of me, I can't think of her stinking name. I could picture her face all day long, but I can't think of her name for some reason. Um, and I know who it is. Um, but anyway, a couple of years ago, she lost one of her sons to cancer, and I guess just yesterday, um, she lost her other son, and apparently he was in a pretty bad accident, and he died. Um, but so she doesn't have any sons left. She was kind of worried about him anyway, because I guess he was uh, really bad shape health wise, really overweight, and didn't take care of himself. And I guess they're saying that he probably had a cardiac event, and because he ran into a semi truck. Now I don't know if that was head on. She didn't tell me if it was head on or if he just ran into the back of it. But anyway, so she lost both her sons, um, and as a parent, you don't want to have to you don't want to have to bury your children. I know my mom was heartbroken when we lost my sister, um, because she didn't think it's right, and I didn't either. Uh, I wish my sister was still around, but she's not. Um, I wish my dad was still around, but he's not. So basically, in our family, it's just mom and I. Of course, my wife, but you know how that goes. Yeah, you're absolutely right, Doc. Um, I could go right now. I could go another 40 years from now. If the world makes it that far, it depends on what these jackoffs do in office. I mean, it's been pretty stupid. I've never seen so much screwed up stuff. And I'm going to be the first to admit that I think that uh, social media and the internet has everything to do with that kind of a failure. I think it's the demise of a lot of society. As we're using the internet now to do this live stream, but I think some people use it for the wrong purposes, and it gets out of hand. So there's not much that we can control, obviously. I mean, whatever happens is going to happen. Yeah, Jose, I mean, for sure. Um, the devastation from people that I know that have lost kids, and I can't imagine what that kind of pain feels like. Um, we were never blessed with any children, but I can tell you, our four-legged ones that we have here, it takes a chunk of your soul every time that you lose one. And if you go through a lot of them, it's hard to handle. I don't know how people how people do it, and then to see the cruelty of people that just dump like litters of puppies or cats or something like that because they can't deal with them. And hi, Foxy Mama. Hi, Foxy Mama. I know. I hear you. I know. I know it. I don't know how you could actually let yourself do that kind of thing, especially if it's cold out or something like that, and you just dump it. They showed a video the other day of this gal that was rescuing, and she was told about him, and somebody had dumped like 5 puppies out next to a dumpster, and they were just sitting there, and they lost 2 of them because they got frozen. They were frozen to death. I don't understand how people can have such a cold heart. It absolutely tears me up. And as I'm talking about it, I'm getting upset with it. Same thing that happens with babies. Maybe you're not in your right mind um, when you decided to have it and bring a child into the world, but uh, to abandon it, to leave it somewhere, you know, I've heard of them being in dumpsters and stuff like that. I understand that maybe you weren't in your right mind or something like that, but for the people that can't have any kids, that can't bring up any kids in the world. That's rough. Oh boy, seeing a side of Smitty that I really didn't want to see have come out. Sorry. But wow, that's crazy. 18 funerals in 3 years. Mike, I've heard about the drop boxes. I've heard about that. I guess they're doing it in Illinois too. Um, yeah, there's they absolutely can tell, Doc. I guess there's a lot of things that I see. Um, to me, I think people are selfish in that respect. Um, they'll care more about their self worth and how to better themselves in their lives financially than their uh, fellow person. Um, and whatever happens after that, they could care less. And that's a lot of the thing that I see is happening in our government right now. Um, I don't understand it. I'm sorry, I'm fidgeting because I'm trying to keep from getting really upset. Um, I got to get off that subject. What's wrong, Bailey? Huh? What's wrong, sweetie? What? What? Peyton, do you need to go potty? Do you need to go potty? All right, hang with me, guys. I let the kids out. Yeah, doctor, for sure. You got a line on an 89 Camaro. My wife, pointed out, says, here's an 85, 86 Camaro already done for $3,500. It's like, we ain't got $3,500. I know she's talking about the three that I got sitting in the yard right now that I haven't finished. One of these days, hopefully this summer, I'll get to work on them some, just depends. I got a lot of stuff I got to get done. Just not a whole lot of time to do it. I'm trying to actually make some money at the shop. I mean, it's tough to do, especially as a heavy line tech. As long as this body will hold up and let me keep doing it, then I'm gonna keep doing it. Yeah, Doc, there's definitely some tail wags that go on here for sure. We got some happy kids. Um, they're spoiled rotten for sure. And 81 with the 6. You're right, Doc. Got to do what we can, just to survive. I mean, unfortunately, the bills keep coming in. It keeps the lights on. And speaking of which, so YouTube sends me a deal since we have YouTube TV. They're raising their rates too. It's to stay competitive and make improvements. Whatever. It cracks me up. Well, it doesn't crack me up. It kind of irritates me because I mean everything's going up. It needs to go the other way. What's up, Ice? How you doing, buddy? Well, I mean that's basically you could say, holy cow, I got 12 in here at the same time. What the heck's going on here? If you're out there and coming by, hit the thumbs up for me if you would. That'd be great. Yeah, get bills. I think the wife and I were talking about that the other day, and I'm seriously thinking about getting a PO box because I'm thinking that we've got some people that are trying to steal some mail because we got the old style mailbox out there at the road, and we've got one of those locking mailboxes, and the post office was so kind the last time that I got a package delivered that they broke the lock part of it, just ripped it open so they could stick the package in the mailbox. I thought that was kind of BS, but yeah, whatever it is, I guess. But so I had to order um, this transmission that I built that uh, failed for some reason. I think it may have a bad PCM in it, but nonetheless, um, I needed an orifice for the 3/4 clutch housing. Should be a 2-door. No, brother. I knew what you meant, Doc. But so this orifice that goes in the input housing for the 3/4 clutch is an orifice check ball. Anyway, the one that was in it, it failed and it was leaking. So I ordered one from work. It's on national back order. So I get on Amazon tonight, look up the part number, get on Amazon tonight, and I found 3 of them for $6.15 a piece. So I ordered 3 of them. So they ought to be here probably Monday or Tuesday. And won't have to wait for the stuff from GM. It's just crazy. I mean, the amount of stuff that's on back order at work is just asinine. Um, it didn't used to ever be a problem getting transmissions, and just seems like every time I go up there to order one's on back order. I'm like, come on. Just the stupidest things are on back order. Doesn't make any sense. Kind of hard to fix the cars if you can't get parts for them, but again, I think that's part of their plan too. But I sure don't see don't see electric vehicles screaming off the lots either. A year to get a 13 horse Honda engine? That's ridiculous. Yeah. I really I really don't see us getting rid of the ice, that quick. I don't see as it being a viable option, but you know, in the same token, we've got to be able to produce the fuel to run that stuff. So, um, you know, New Jersey can do what they want, but you know, if they just ban it, you know, New Jersey's small enough, you can go to the next state and buy one. You know, just it's dumb, 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 dumb. Yeah, you know, the one of the problems that I see that they did is they've outsourced a lot of their manufacturing to places other than the U.S. Um, you know, the 45 worked hard at bringing factories into the U.S., which I think should happen. We've got a lot of capable people here that are good machinists and know how to manufacture parts, and we could do it here. Uh, I mean, with the Biden inflation going on right now anyway, I mean, it couldn't, I mean, the cost of the parts would be nothing really. I mean, yeah, I just, so here's a prime example. So I went when we were picking up the fridge the other day, I got one of those inline filters. The thing's probably about that long. That's in the water line behind the fridge. Um, because I wanted one that goes into the fridge and then there's one in the fridge too. Um, needless to say, so I picked up a filter and the damn water filter was $42. I'm like, are you flipping kidding me? It's crazy. Doesn't make any sense to me, boys and girls. Not one bit. You know, it's the lower and middle class that got those elitists to where they are now. I mean, I just wish it would just backfire on them all and then they realize how bad it actually is. But I know I'm grasping at straws. I don't want assistance. I want to be able to make my own living. I don't want handouts. I know there's people that think they're entitled to it, but I mean, what pride do you have in if you're just taking a handout or just having it given to you all the time? You don't get any pride out of that. It's it's just an entitlement BS going on. Now, you know, my dad taught me when I was young and says, you know, if you want to earn some money, you need to go out there and do some work. So, okay. So I did. I mowed lawns. You know, I mowed the grass and trimmed and that kind of stuff and did other things to earn some money so I could have some money to go spend it, and that's what I did. And I enjoyed it. Um, so I, it doesn't do any good to sit on your butt and have somebody give you something all the time. It just doesn't. It makes you lazy. Uh, we get enough of that going on too. And I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I wish that there were some things that I I just knew. Mom pointed out something the other day that and we got to talking anyway. She goes, one thing that you always did is you always had the knack for figuring things out. And you usually thought about it logically, whether or not it was right or wrong. So when you made the decision to do it, it was usually the right decision because you took the time to analyze what the outcome would be. And it's true. And I've been accused many times of overthinking things. But if you don't think about it ahead of time before you make the action, then a lot of times you'll make the wrong decision. Yeah, I mean, for sure. I mean, you're not going to get critical thinking skills in a college. Um, that you'd rather do more than just party than actually learn something. Um, so yeah. Well, y'all, I'm gonna get the kids in, and I think I'm gonna call tonight. I sure appreciate tonight. I needed this more than you guys think. I know you guys don't get much out of it, and I understand it, but I really do appreciate, just having somebody, some people to gab with that come in to listen to me BS or you sob story or something like that. It really means a bunch to me, and I just want to appreciate. I'll tell you, I appreciate it. So, um, I really don't have a good saying for tonight other than my usual. If you've got loved ones, make sure to get a hold of them. Tell them you love them. Don't forget about your parents. They spent all the hard-earned time of raising you. I mean, make it a make an effort to back them up because there's going to come a time where the roles need to be reversed and you need to take care of them in their ending years. I know I'm going to end up doing the same thing with my mom. So um, y'all make sure to take care of yourself, take care of each other. God bless you, and God bless this great America. We'll see you next time. Bye.